The Empire State Building is the first of the 7 modern wonders of America to top 100 stories, far surpassing any of its ancient predecessors. But what does the Empire State Building's record-breaking height reveal about its forgotten history?
We're in Herald Square, which is one of the busiest and most crowded parts of the city. And there's the Empire State Building in front of us at 5th Avenue.
Don Friedman believes the Empire State Building's distinctive spire sets it apart in the city's crowded skyline.
With that, you go, oh, that's the Empire State.
But this mast also hides a secret. In 1929, the architects set out to construct a very different building.
This is an early drawing. There's one thing missing here, which is the spire, because this drawing was created before the spire was added to the building.
The blueprints reveal that the Empire State Building's elaborate spire is a very late addition. Engineers shoehorn it into the design only after construction starts. Why add extra height to an already record-breaking wonder? In 1930, the steel and glass spire starts to take shape. At the top, on floor 102, an observation deck offers breathtaking views. One floor above is a strange balcony with a knee-high wall as the only barrier to a 1,250-foot drop. Incredibly, the architects declare this is for giant airships to dock and unload passengers directly into the Empire State Building. But is this the real reason for the spire? In the early 1930s, docking an airship with a skyscraper is a radical new idea. Airships don't need runways. They simply attach to towers or masts using ropes. Forward-thinking building designers place mooring points on the top of their structures, looking forward to a future of airship-filled skies. In 1931, airships try to dock at the Empire State Building's spire. It's such a jaw-dropping sight, crowds block the sidewalks in the busy streets below. One airship clings on for 3 minutes. Another drops a bundle of newspapers. No passengers disembark, and the attempt is never repeated. Why is this airship the only one to dock at the Empire State Building? Civil engineer Martin van Reewijk thinks he knows the answer. He's investigating the Empire State Building's forgotten airship port. He recreates the conditions faced by the docking airship in this wind tunnel at Imperial College, London. Martin wants to find out if an airship could offload passengers at the top of the world's tallest building.
What I have here is a balloon which is filled with helium, and this is going to be a very rough approximation to the airship. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to moor this airship on the top of the building right here.
The tunnel's fans start up. Martin adds smoke to see the path of the wind.
So here you can see the flow as it goes around this airship.
The wind that hits the top of the building must go somewhere. It deflects to the building's sides, but it also goes up.
You see that this highly unsteady flow in the wake causes huge response from our airship.
The airship and all its furniture, luggage, and passengers would be hurled around inside.
We're seeing very violent motions of the airship. Full scale, these would be ups and downs of the airship of 10, 20 meters. This would be hugely dangerous.
Mooring an airship to a high mast takes considerable skill. Even at ground level, it can be a treacherous maneuver. This is the USS Los Angeles. In 1926, a shift in temperature at ground level causes warm air to flip the airship vertically on its moorings. Luckily, no one is on board.
It's not the greatest of ideas to try to moor an airship on a building like the Empire State Building.
Tall structures like skyscrapers can create strong updrafts of wind and unpredictable gusts. Airships need a second tether to hold their tails in place and stop them from tipping up in these updrafts. The tail tether should rotate and allow the airship to align with gusting winds. But the Empire State Building doesn't have this mechanism. Any airship can only moor for a few minutes, or drop a bundle of newspapers before moving on. Tethered precariously just to the mast of the skyscraper, this is all they can safely achieve. In 1931, the world's top airship captain, Germany's Hugo Eckener, visits New York. He concludes that any attempt to drop off passengers at the Empire State Building would end in disaster. A few years later, the explosion of the Nazi airship Hindenburg underlines the dangers.
The world's largest and most luxurious airship, the Hindenburg, burns in a disaster. This tragedy dramatically ends a future era of airship travel.
Don believes the real reason for the mast on the Empire State Building lies with an intense rivalry that grips the city.
People were building taller and taller buildings in New York. Chrysler Building was the tallest building in the world for about a year. By adding the spire onto the Empire State Building, it went up about another 15 stories in height.
The spire allows the Empire State Building to soar above its rivals, and it protects its record far into the future.
Any publicity will help, and constructing the tallest building in the world is one way to get a lot of free publicity.